Okay. Here we go. I'm also using this as like a half excuse to actually practice this event because I'm very, very rusty. Last time I practiced this event, I was actually like solving really good leading up to the round, and then my first solve was a DNS, so I just played the rest of the average safe, but yeah. I don't usually stream this early, but there's a good reason why I'm doing it today. Alright, not too bad. What up, Gavster queuing? No flip scrambling is crazy. It's not hard to learn. And it's definitely a lot less cumbersome. And I'd also argue it makes a lot less miss scrambles happen. This one sucks, by the way. This is terrible. Alright. Got a success somehow. I might learn it then. It would be cool. It's not hard to learn. Basically, like on the backhand side, when you have like, let's say on the backhand side, I have U plus 3. I just put both of the U pins down and then turn -3. So I just kind of do the opposite of what you're supposed to do. So just for right -4, I turn the right pins down and then do +4. Or wait. No, I turn the left pins down and then do +4. It's also mirrored. I'm not very good at this event, as you can clearly tell. When I say that my PR average is 5.1, my comment got a reply from Abyssal. That's interesting. What was I saying? I was saying something. I don't know, I forgot. Yeah, when people, I remember what I was gonna say now. When I tell people that my PR average is 5.1, they're like, oh, okay, so are you like sub 5 at home? No. What do you average at home then? Like DNF technically, but like low 7? What? How do you have such a good PR average then? I don't freaking know. I don't freaking know. Granted, in that average, I also got 2 6 simuls, which definitely helped. But the other 2 counting times, like, I have no idea how I did them that good. Whoa. Okay, maybe that's how. What clock drama? Glad you asked. So the Clock World Champion is now Volodymyr. Second place is still Bendy, and third place is now Anthony Stoyak. We have a retroactive world champion. So essentially, here's the gist about what I read from it. So on solve 2 of Anthony's winning average and solve 5 of Brendan Dunnigan's second place average, they received a miss scramble. And they didn't receive an extra attempt. I think Lachlan DNF round 1, he DNF round 2, it doesn't matter. They got a miss scramble on one of their solves, and because they didn't catch it in the moment, they're now going to retroactively be receiving a DNS for those 2 solves. And so because of that, Volodymyr is now the world champion, and Anthony dropped back down to 3rd, and Brendan would have won had that miss scramble not happened for him as well, so he then drops back down to 2nd. Which is a lot to process all at once, but yeah, it's very, very upsetting for a lot of people, especially myself. Hold on. Alright. Why did they do that? Okay. So I have the post pulled up right here. And I can read out the... That's kind of them. They shouldn't double checked it. They should have double checked it. That's what I was going to outline here. They said this. Hold on, where was it? Yeah. All competitors in the final rounds were given the opportunity to check their scrambles after the conclusion of the round, in addition to ensuring that scrambles are double-checked to prevent any missed scrambles before they are sent out. We strongly encourage future organization teams to offer this same opportunity, and we strongly encourage competitors to make use of this opportunity when available. That, when I first read that, caught me a little bit by surprise, because when I first read that, I came to the conclusion of, oh, okay, they think that you should be the one responsible for checking to make sure that you don't have any missed scrambles, which is a completely ridiculous thing and is no way in the regulations. Like, there is no obligation that the competitor should be the one to double check the scrambles. Obviously, they have the opportunity to do so, and organizers should give them the opportunity to do so. I'm not arguing against that. I'm arguing that they're saying that that is a responsibility that they have. That's essentially what they're outlining here, which I think is completely insane. Like, in no way should competitors, like, especially in a world championship setting, when you're expecting, like, everything to have been done, like, by the book. Like, they said it themselves, they had multiple scramblers double checking every single scramble. They believe that the miss scramble was caused in transit, because there's no way they would give Brendan Dunnigan, who was on world championship pace, a miss scramble on Salt 5. That they would never do that. Holy crap. Sorry, that was a really easy scramble. It caught me off guard. But, yeah, I think this decision is completely nuts. Like, Anthony attempt 2, Bendy attempt 5 are going to be given DNSs. As a result of this change, Anthony Stoyak, previously first, moves down to 3rd place, and Volodymyr Kapustiansky, previously 3rd, is now the world champion. Brendan Dunnigan remains in 2nd place. It's like, what? That's crazy. What's worse about this? Follows previous precedent, but still stupid. I know it follows previous precedent. The previous precedent we also disagreed with, though. Like, we firmly disagree that this should not have been the case. Like, we all felt bad for Timofey that they had to redo Megaminx finals because he got European record and won, and Megaminx is one of those events where missed scrambles are completely valid due to delegate discretion. And because of that, they had to redo the entire Megaminx round, which one sucked, but then also Timofey lost European record, and he no longer was European champion. Like, we have a precedent of this before, and we all disagreed with it. Wow, that's actually good. This has been an issue forever, and I don't know why it hasn't been addressed properly. It has been addressed. In no way has it been addressed properly. Because we're still getting issues like this in 2025. Like, this is an issue I would expect to see at like the World Championships in 2011 or 2013. In 2025, 2 of the top 50 people in the entire world are receiving a missed scramble on the World Championship stage, and no one noticed for an entire month and a half. That was a really easy scramble. It's like redoing 5x5 finals for kids scrims. Well, yeah, that's understandable, but like, also 5x5, it's nowhere near as prestigious as that. Like, they redo an entire round because like a couple kids mis-scrambled a couple Megaminxes or 5x5s. But to not even give them like an opportunity to get an extra attempt just because it was discovered after the fact, that's ridiculous. How did they even figure it out? Video analysis. Someone was watching the video like a month after it happened and was like, hey, wait a minute. This scramble is slightly different. Hold on, let me double check it. They realized that it was likely a one-tick error during transportation rather than an error on the scramblers we have. Which, I know that there was a rule in the recent regulations that was like, if a missed scramble gives no competitive advantage and is extremely similar to the previous one, the result may stand. So I've already had this situation happen to me before, where I received a 3x3 missed scramble that was very, very similar to the actual 3x3 scramble. I confronted the delegates about it, and they were just like, it's close enough. We'll just count it. Which is fair enough. I mean, if it's this freaking close on all sides, like, as well as for an event like Clock, where like a single tick on the middle of one of the moves isn't going to change the difference between who's going to be the world champion and who's not. It's only on what could potentially be the final moves. But I think that this decision is completely nuts. I feel like the way they just trying to rush it out and didn't check it properly since it was finals. Well, yeah, but what they're saying here is all competitors in final rounds were given the opportunity to check the scrambles. They are expecting competitors to take the opportunity to check the scrambles rather than trusting that the World Championship finale won't have any scramble issues. Like, Anthony Stoyak flew out from Poland. He flew out to the most prestigious championship of the entire last 2 years. Arguably the entire last decade, if you want to go that far. It was the most prestigious championship. He flew all the way across the Atlantic, had so much trust in the scramblers, and only a month after he settled into thinking that he's world champion, they take it away from him. That is just absurd. Why am I actually solving good? Oh, never mind. That's what I have in Clock. The only thing good to come out of the European Championships incident is that they noticed it at the competition, and so they were able to redo the round. That was definitely more of an unfortunate case, but definitely a case that I do agree with what they did. I just really, it was just like, it was sad for a lot of reasons, but I'm glad that the round was redone, and I'm glad that they actually noticed it in the competition. This, on the other hand, is on a completely different scale. Like, rather than an entire round receiving misscrambles, it was only a few dedicated solves that happened to receive a misscramble, and those few dedicated solves happened to decide the difference between world champion or not. I feel like runners and scramblers should both have checked it. Heck, maybe even the delegate or two, because clock is pretty easy to misscramble. It wasn't a misscramble due to the actual scramblers. Bruh. They believe that because it was one tick off on the scrambles with all 4 pins up, they believe that it was a misscramble in transit, like what happened to Max Park at Nats 2018 in the USA, where he got like a 1-move misscramble out of an OH world record. However, that was different because he was given a provisional extra at the competition. Because they knew that it was a misscramble then. They knew in 2018 that a random world record was a misscramble. And they didn't know at the World Championship finals between the competitor most likely to have won the World Championship, they receive a misscramble on Sol 5. Hundreds of cams are filming it, and it took them 60, 50 something days to figure it out? If they had known the entire time, why didn't they give him a provisional extra at the competition? They had to have figured it out long after the comp ended. One move. Yeah, it was one move. That one move missed scramble. Like, what if they go back retroactively and find out that one of the DNFs in Lachlan's average was a missed scramble? Like, what would happen if that were to happen? Like, he didn't receive a provisional extra, and he wasn't given a chance to then, like, redo that single solve to have a chance of making finals. Like, I know in the actual average it was like a low 3 and then like DNF and then like 2-8 or whatnot. So he would have had a counting 8 either way. But like, if he had known that that was a miss scramble on the DNF, he would have played out the rest of the average differently, and we might have seen him win world championships just because of that. Like, these decisions cannot come down to these miss scrambles anymore, especially at a world championship. Like, the WCA cannot allow these types of things to continue. Nice. What's your PB saying on the clock? I think it's like a 3.5. The biggest comp ever had a lot of mistakes too. I mean, with 2,000 competitors, you're going to get mistakes no matter what. Like, that's just completely unavoidable. But, like, in the World Championship, I'm mostly concerned about Brendan's solve, honestly. Because Anthony's was solved too. Like, no one had, like, any stream cut out. I don't think many people were filming Anthony specifically, because he was definitely an underdog going into the final. I genuinely don't think that the Scramble 2 was noticed due to anyone else's footage. I think it was just his video upload to his YouTube channel. How on earth are they not going to notice Brendan Dunnigan's Miss Scramble, though? Like, he was on the stream. He was on pace to become world champion, guaranteed, might I add. And he received Sol 5, and it wasn't correct. Like, that to me is definitely, like, the most absurd part about it. I legitimately think I did a plus 19 on one of those moves. Canyon, should I learn 7 simul? If you want to enjoy clock for like a week or two, then yeah. But like you don't get much enjoyment outside of it though. Bruh. It would nice if you get a good average though. I suppose, yeah. So I can just quit clock forever. That's what I did. The only reason I'm doing clock now is just because of the drama. And so I don't forget 7 simul, because I probably have done that twice. Alright. Yeah, clock has the most drama in cubing. It's because it's definitely like clock is definitely the hardest event when it comes to performing in like a championship or like world record setting. Because clock is definitely the most punishing event. Because there's no such thing as a +2 on it. It has like no relative leniency, and each individual turn has to be within 15 degrees of accuracy. And there's 14 of them, and you're doing 2 at a time on every single solve at most. So because it has a low move count, it's already highly optimized, and it has a low leniency, then like it's going to be a recipe for disaster. Especially back then with pin regulations. Oh my god. You should get Quit limited edition. It's an amazing cube. I don't know what that means. Is there out in clock advanced method? No. No, it's just it's entirely turning accuracy. Like once you know Tommy 7 simul, that's it. Like that is the entire thing. Some people are going to argue that there is more depth to clock than that. I would just firmly disagree. You should get Chi limited edition. It's amazing cube. I already have like 3. I feel like they should have checked all 5 scrams for the podiums after the round to make sure it was right, especially since Brendan was on World Champ pace. I don't think that competition should be obligated to check after the fact, especially because like there were 2 people checking the scrambles before they were sent out every single time. So why on earth would they expect something to go wrong? Like you don't expect the clock to turn inside the cover like that. But that's what happened. Oh boy, big news today? Yes, very big news today. I think this is the first time in cubing history we've had a retroactive world champion. I know we've had retroactive like world records and stuff, but a world champion? Whoops. There we go. Kenyon, you should just come to the comp. I'm going to a comp in Colorado the same day. I can't. Utah comps are better? I mean, I have other reasons to go to a Colorado comp. I prefer Utah comps absolutely, but like, I've already been to like what 6 this year, and I've been to 0 Colorado comps this year, I think. Wait, no, technically I've been to 1. We'd get to hang out. I didn't even know that you were going, bro. Yeah, but one of the main things that I'm concerned about this, I've already said this multiple times, but all competitors in final rounds are given the opportunity to check their scrambles after the conclusion. Like Chris Cheese responded to this was definitely outlining it. I'm sure you don't mean it this way, but this response comes off as blaming the competitor for not checking the scrambles when it shouldn't have been their responsibility to do so. That's exactly how I've interpreted it as well. Like, the competitor should not be responsible for making sure that their scrambles are correct. That should be the organizers, that should be the scramblers, that should be the runners, should be the delegates. Like, for it to happen twice in a World Championship final is just inexcusable. And when it does happen, the WCA admits their mistakes. Not the competitor's responsibility, exactly. I think what they should have done, because it was only a one-tick miss scramble inside of the cover during the transition. Like, I think what they should have done is what they should have done at, like, local competitions. If a miss scramble is, like, barely affecting the actual scrambled state, and it doesn't give a competitor a significant advantage, then they should just let the result stand. Because there's no way that these guys got a competitive advantage from a single tick move on all 9. And if they did, then it would be disingenuous to state that it actually, like, affected the World Championship outcome. Because this is far more effective of a World Championship outcome than any miss scramble would have been at that time. Especially if it's this. It's the organizer's responsibility to have a camera on the scramble station. They did. They did have cameras on the scramble station. Like, there were hundreds of people recording Brendan Dunnigan's 5th solve. That solve was one of the first ones to be shown as a miss scramble, and it took them a month and a half to realize it. There was cameras everywhere. It was solve 5, too. Like, hold on, let me look at the statement from Carter. All these results are achieved in the World Championship final. The relevant attempts will be changed to a DNS, which is the exact same thing as a DNF, essentially. The following attempts are Anthony Stoyak, the World Champion, solve 2. Brendan Dunnigan, World Champion runner-up, attempt 5. So let's ignore Brendan's attempt happening. Because Anthony's second attempt was miss-scrambled, Brendan then becomes World Champion. But because Brendan's 5th was also miss-scrambled, he then loses that. So the podium is now Volo, Bendy, Anthony. No, I mean on the station, literally filming the scramblers. Oh, you want the actual scramblers to be filmed. So the issue with that was the scramble was done correct before it was sent out. But in transition, when it was inside of the box, it did a turn. Which, this has happened before. This has caused Carter Thomas to miss out on a world record average before as well. Which was incredibly upsetting at the time. The only difference is that Carter was actually given an extra attempt on that day. Because they caught it, like, during the competition. For a World Championship final, it's, like, really bad. There's this stigma that, like, World Championship finals shouldn't be given, like, you shouldn't give out extra scrambles during a World Championship final. I disagree. Because what happened here is just inexcusable. Nice. We don't have the tangible proof of that, though, right? Only the word of the scramblers? Well, no. So what it was is the scrambles that were analyzed due to video analysis after the fact, they were seen to have been, they were the correct scramble, and 2 scramblers checked it, and then when the competitor received it, it was like this. It was a tick off, essentially. So the hypothesis is that it turned inside the cover, which we do have precedent of this happening before. So it is not believed to have been the fault of the scramblers. If it is the fault of the scramblers, that's a whole other can of worms. But for the sake of, like, the organizers and not trying to, like, belittle their integrity, I'm gonna assume that they scrambled right and it was an error in transition or on transportation. I know what happened, but I could have some more context. I would recommend reading the report as well as some of the replies to the report by some of the other cubers, such as, like, Chris Chi, and I think Anders did a reply as well. It has a swear word in it, fair warning. It's a really big mess. It's really unfortunate. Whoa, this scroll is easy. I hear you, but on a purely technical level, we only have video evidence of when it came out of the cover, not before it went into the cover, correct? I feel like having that for every single competitor at every single World Championship round would be a logistical nightmare. But yeah, we don't have video of the scramblers itself, so we don't have video of the incident. But I think requiring the scramblers to also be filmed is a bit of a stretch because that's basically implying that if it was a potential like scrambler issue, then two qualified individuals who are giving the dedicated responsibility to scramble all of these clocks for this round both made the exact same mistake and they did it twice. There is absolutely no way that they wouldn't have double and triple checked Brendan Dunnigan's fifth salt scramble. He's on World Championship pace. There's no way they wouldn't check that thing 5 times. Getting my wisdom teeth out the day before the comp, so it'll be fun. Oh my goodness. That will certainly be an adventure for you. Hopefully it goes well. 4 and 1 3 and 4 and 5. I might not PR in 3x3. I mean, you shouldn't go into a competition with the expectation to PR in 3x3. You should go into a competition with the expectation that all the rules and regulations are going to be followed. And you should also have some fun with it. Because flying across the Atlantic Ocean to only then have your World Champion shuttle be retroactively stripped from you a month in advance, like, that's not fun. No one agrees that that's fun. To have it there as a backup would be wise, though. IMO, then it can conclusively prove that the puzzle shifted in transit to the solve could be allowed due to an unavoidable error. Yes, I do think that conclusion does have some merit, and implementing it would definitely help in the conclusion of the cases. It's not going to change the fact about what happened, though. Like, whether it's a misscramble due to the scramblers, or whether it's a misscramble due to a transit issue, the outcome is the same. They solved the clock, they became world champion, and then they were stripped of the title. Essentially, 2 people were, which is nuts. I'd really recommend like waiting until you hear statements from at least 2 of them. Though, because like what I'm saying right now is just I'm just reading off the report, and as well as giving my opinions, as well as giving voice to some of your guys' opinions as well. But at the end of the day, I'm not the one affected, it was them, so I would want to wait for their response. Of course it wouldn't change the situation, but could avoid it in a future maybe. Well, yeah, it definitely could avoid it. There is a stigma in World Championship finales that no miss scrambles would be given out. Like, this has happened, like, in 3x3 finals, like, it was very clear that Yiheng wasn't going to get an extra, so he, like, called out every single person who was, like, doing any sort of distraction. That's where we get the no flash meme from. I just woke up lol, but I'll read the report on stream later. Alright, fair enough. I might end up watching that later. I don't have work today, so I'll join in on the chat, and then I can... I'm just going to be restating my opinions there. I won't be adding much substance than I already am with my stream. 302 and 2 and 3. That was actually kind of bad. I didn't know why. So you live in New Zealand, though. I guess time zones would make some sense. I might watch it too. Oh yeah, you're homeschooled. We definitely need someone with a lot of like a decent sized following to cover this situation, though, because I don't think anyone has yet. Like, I got pinged from this by one of my Utah delegates in the clock chat that was just like, well, what a start to our morning. and really, what a start. I'm probably going to be thinking about this a lot today. About, like, not only how we can prevent this in the future, but also how to handle the situation. Because I think the conclusion that they came to, although, like, in the regulations, it is the correct way to handle it, I just don't feel it that way. Like, my gut tells me that the decision is wrong. Dang it. Is it salt? Nope. Guys, I'll make a video. I would hold off from making a video until after we get the response from them, though. I really don't want to post something and then be proven wrong instantly. Then people will really double check those scrambles. Yeah, but, like, we've already had situations like this before, though. Like, Carter Thomas got, like, essentially the same thing happened. He got a missed scramble, which was assumed to have happened in transit, and then he was given extra afterwards, which is obviously the correct decision. And, like, they had done this in 2018 Nationals as well with Max Park's 644 OH single. And, like, they handled it good 7 years ago, and then they handled it good 2 years ago. I don't understand how they didn't handle it good now. And, like, just last year at the European Championships, they had to redo all of Megaminx and all of Clock Finals due to using scrambles from the previous round. And because of that, Timofey was stripped of his European Championship title as well as European record average at the time. So, like, obviously there is precedent to situations like this happening for major competitors and major championships, and then they were able to handle it perfectly fine then. Obviously, the result was upsetting to a lot of people, but I don't think anyone was, like, outspoken and, like, straight up disagree with it whatsoever. This, I feel like we're going to be seeing a lot of backlash too. Just because the decision is so... something about the decision. Like, to me, it feels unjust in that way. As if someone's getting prosecuted for a crime that they didn't commit. Because, like, that's essentially what they're doing when they say all competitors in finals were given the opportunity to check their scrambles after the conclusion of the round. Like, after I read that, I was like, oh, okay, they're not taking blame, are they? I mean, they are taking blame to a certain extent, but I just don't think it's enough to justify what they did. That part feels really unfair. It is very unfair. Missed scrambles in general are very unfair. But, like, I also don't want to give my opinion about, like, how it affects them, because I want them to speak up first, rather than me give a take on it and then just be proven wrong instantly. Like, I need to see what they say first. Show me the reg that says it's a competitor's responsibility to do so. I'll look, but I don't think that reg exists. Okay, which one is it going to be? Is it going to be... It's probably going to be in scrambles. Section 4, scrambling. Miss... There's nothing on miss scramble. The organization team is completely responsible for logistics before, during, and after the competition. In no way is that stating a competitor. That's in officials, however. That's not in scrambling. Wait, really? Okay, in the entire scrambling section of the regulations, responsibility isn't said once. Must be available, okay. Okay, it's just rules about, like, how to scramble the puzzle and what counts as, like, a valid miss scramble for some extensions. But I'm not seeing anything when it comes to, maybe I missed something obvious. I'm not seeing anything when it comes to competitors being the one to check. At this stage, all we can do is present the facts as we have them. Exactly, yeah. Like, we have the facts. All we need is, like, the people's opinions and the backlash that is going to be heard because of the statement. Like, once we get, like, how they react to it, I think it'll definitely tell a lot bigger of a story. But as of now, all we can do is just wait in anticipation. I'm just trying to put myself in their shoes about like how I would feel on something to a lesser degree, obviously, because I'm not as good as them. Like, how would I feel about it, though? The worst part about it is that it happened a month after, though. Like, if it happened during the championship, yeah, that's upsetting, and yeah, people will be, like, very outspoken about it. But it was caught, and it was rectified by giving extra attempts, or at least notifying the competitors ahead of time. Like, after they had already stood on the podium, after they had all already gone home, after the entire summer vacation ended, only then do they know that they're not world champion anymore. That's... Oh my gosh. So wait, it was one tick off. Okay. Essentially, what I'm reading from the report was, this was the proper scramble. This scramble was checked by 2 different scramblers, and it was verified to be correct. And when the competitor received it, this had been applied to it. Like a single tick. Somebody must have been stitched. Technically speaking, like 2 or 3 people have been stitched up. Like, Anthony's no longer world champion because of that missed scramble. Bendy would have been world champion had Ian also not gone, had he also not received a missed scramble. And Volodymyr, who got 3rd place at the competition, is now world champion. Like, I bet you he doesn't feel good about receiving that title. Again, it's entirely speculation on their feelings. I need their statement, though. Because, like, yeah. No, somebody snitched. Oh, snitched? Oh, is that what you're saying? Like, somebody was doing... I definitely don't think they did it out of malice, though. Because, like, if it was a missed scramble, someone would have discovered it eventually. I'm amazed it took a whole month. But someone... There's no way that it would have been... Because, like, this final had an incredible storyline with Bendy having won the World Championship and then it getting sniped away at the last second. There's no way that there wouldn't have been analysis for every individual solve leading up to that point. Someone would have discovered it eventually. I'm amazed it took this long, but yeah, it was eventually discovered. 301426. We have Yihang's .78, the early timer stop, and the Squan solve at Worlds, and now this crap. I mean, the Yihang .78 was a different story, though, because it was the competitor's fault in that case. Like, whether intentional or not, that's a whole other argument. He was breaking a WCA regulation, and we all agree that it was just to remove that result. It took a while for us to get there, but that's the agreement we landed upon. This is completely different. What clock drama? Volodymyr's world champion now. Anthony Stoyak is 3rd. I have this on mute, so can someone in chat tell me? Okay, someone in chat say that Volodymyr's world champion for Purple Clock here. My birthday is today, so I'm finally a year older. Happy birthday, man. Volo's world champion because of miscount, perfectly said. N2, N1, O, N16. Okay, so that was technically with flip. Maybe pin the link to the report. I should do that, yeah. Hold on. Give me just a second. Let me freaking find this thingy first. I need to do it on this just so I am able to do it, because I don't want to pull it up on my laptop now. Alright, here it is. Copy and paste. Now, how do I pin a message? Can I do it on my phone? I can only remove the message. How do I pin it? Alright, hold on. Let me figure this out. Chat settings, maybe? Nope. Alright, I don't know how to pin a message. Can you do it on mobile? The 3 dots on the right might be the desktop only thing. I think it is, because I'm not seeing anything. Yeah, all it's giving me for settings is chat filters. It's not giving me a spot to pin something. Well, there's the report link. I suppose I'll just like type it in chat every single time the question is brought up then. It's not hard for me to do that. I just copy and paste. You should be able to click the 3 dots and click pin. I don't have 3 dots. Unless I can like swipe over. Oh. Okay, there we go. I clicked a different button this time and it worked. There we go, now it's pinned. Try holding the comment. I tried holding the comment, I just pressed the comment that time. Alright, well, thanks for the help, guys. Hacked it? Oh my gosh. That was insane turning for me. I'm so happy right now. Is it because it's your birthday? Can I be mod? Give me 3 good reasons why you should be mod, Adam. And then I'll consider. Just because I know and trust you. Yep, alright, fair enough. Yeah, before I like make any other... This live stream is just purely to make people notified about this. As well as practice this, because I'm not good at this anymore. One, because I could help help? Dude, English is so hard. 1, because I can help filter out people if you needed me to. 2, because it could be fun. That's not a good reason. Okay. Mine is tomorrow. Oh, really? Dang, everyone's turning older. Well, that sounds a bit redundant. Like, every 5 minutes, you're getting 5 minutes older, guys. Can you believe it? And 3, I'm a trustworthy person. That's your friend. 4, I am very mature. Aren't you like 15? I think you're aware of like my opinions on how young people should be allowed to have like access to that kind of stuff, though. You're definitely one of the more mature 15-year-olds I've met, though, so... you know what? That's good enough reasons. I'll just... add as moderator. There we go. I'll do standard moderator. Cool that your B-day is tomorrow. Yeah. Happy birthday, everyone. We have a new world champion. Oh, that'd be kind of good. Yeah, thanks, Kenyon. Yeah, of course. There's part of me that like really wants this to be an April Fool's Day joke for some reason. Cause like this just straight up came out of nowhere. Like this was posted 2 hours ago, and this is what already people are thinking. Like there's a solid chance that like literally all 3 of these guys affected are in school right now and just are not able to know this until they get back home. Which I believe is unfortunate because like they should know as soon as possible, but how are we gonna get in contact with them until they already would know? I don't even know why I'm still calling myself King Clocker when I'm literally good in everything but clock, because I haven't practiced in a long time. I mean, pretty much me. That's kind of random. This whole situation is kind of random. Because we've never had something... We've had stuff similar to this, but never to this degree. When was the last time a missed scramble was given to someone in a World Championship final? Like, does someone know off the top of their head, like, the last time something like this happened? I know a lot of you guys are, like, newer cubers, but do we have, like, one older cuber who, like, knows, oh, yeah, back in, like, Worlds 2015, like, this happened? At this point, they're just doing it for more drama and views. The WCA? That would be insane if the WCA is doing this for views. Also, 625. Obviously, I think you're going to be joking with saying that, so I won't take it seriously. The last thing we already need with like all this ambiguity is a conspiracy theory. Why was that good? But still, this is all just dumb. This is very... I wouldn't call it dumb, I would more call it disappointing. Because like, I think one person put it in a comment best, like, he flew across the Atlantic, like, performed on the biggest clock stage in the entire world, went all the way back home for an entire month, and then found out that he's not world champ anymore. Clutched. Wait, there's clock drama? Yeah, I have the forum. I have the forum in a pinned message. I would recommend reading that first before you continue watching this stream. I can't fully understand how that would feel, but like, oof. Yeah, like I said before, I need their statements before I can comment on how they would feel. Wow, 12 years? Thanks for the support, guys. I'd go spread the word, though. Please be solved. Yay. I think they could just find a better solution. I mean, I'd argue the better solution is just to do nothing. Because, like, no one is going to really be upset. See, this is what I mean. Like, I can't assess how upset these guys are going to feel. Like, realistically, I think the broader Speed Cubing community is going to be more upset that a World Championship title is stripped, rather than the fact that a World Championship was decided by a one-tick miss scramble. I feel like having a one-tick miss scramble as our World Champion is far more tolerable and far more better. That clashes with the fair and equal conditions part of the mission, though. Yeah, I understand, but, like, the conditions were, like, as fair and potentially, like, as equal as possible. But having two people lose out on a World Championship title because of something outside of their control is definitely far from equal or fair either. That's something that WCA seems to have trouble with IMO. Yeah, I would agree as well. This scramble is really hard to execute. I'm not saying that's right, but that's where I've observed. I mean, like, you're definitely familiar with, like, certain WCA issues in the past as well, just because you've been, like, reporting on them for such a long time. So, like, obviously I have no place in belittling your takes on that. Hold on, let me do the solve. Can you reset the timer? Alright, we got it. But, dang it, now I forgot what I was gonna say. Whatever. I can already sense, like, a potential, like, not me cubes or a Cube Master video once this situation has gone over. Because, like, as of now, no videos are going to be made. It's strictly going to be either broadcasts or just, like, flat out reports to the generalized community. Like, maybe, like, one decent sized channel with good editing is going to make a speculatory video. I wouldn't give that video much credence as of now. Also, what is this? This is so dumb. No. Dang it. Like I said, the whole purpose of the stream is to A, notify other people that this is going on, and B, use this as an excuse to practice clock. Wow, the ending of that screen was really easy. I just fumbled. Want to do Let's Cube? Maybe later. I think what I'll probably do later is I'll end this stream, go eat lunch, and then I'll come back with another live stream where it's like, it's not just it's not just like us talking about drama or us discussing a drama. It's just like back to my usual live streams, if that makes any sense. But I also need to get some food in my stomach. Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, what do you think about it? I want to hear from as many people as possible in case like I'm getting something majorly wrong. I replied to the thread. Oh, did you? I want to read that. Maybe I might have to reload the page though. Yeah, we have many noteworthy people in here. Like people I recognize: Noah Swore, Chris Chi, Anders, Ellie, Zach Miller. Love you, Zach. Does regulation need to exist? Wait, which reply was that for? I'm so happy to see that the current regulations be upheld. I hope that this incident will help demonstrate that mist scrambles are a natural part of cubing, as in wind or weather in an outdoor sports. Interesting comparison. We'll play along. The regulation could be updated in the future to allow all one-move mist scrambles as a result of Anthony and Brendan achieving such scrambles, and are very likely much closer to what they would have gotten on the original scramble compared to a mist scramble. Okay. I'm counting kite, by the way. Okay. I'll read that later. That's a ambitious take, I think I'm gonna say. Like, allowing one-move mist scrambles, though, because, like, there are a lot of scenarios of scrambles having been changed by just enough to allow, like, a world record quality solve on it. Best example is X64. Oh! Okay, I found your reply. Honestly, this whole situation feels unfair. A single tick miss scramble in a Worlds final being turned into a DNS weeks later completely changes the podium, and it's not even the competitor's fault. Anthony prepared, competed, and delivered under the pressure, only to have his title stripped away because of an error outside his control. Yes, that is very unfortunate. I understand that the WCA needs consistent rules, but in cases like this, it feels like the regulations are punishing the wrong people. It's brutal that the World Championship title can be decided by a scramble error rather than the solves themselves. However, this sparks a bigger conversation about how missed scrambles in finals should be handled going forward, because this doesn't sit right. No, it doesn't sit right. That's the best way to describe how a lot of us feel right now. I just guessed a random number. It's probably no. Yeah, that was a number I just guessed on. I forgot it, so I just guessed. But yeah, it definitely doesn't sit right for me, especially. I think there needs to be a difference between one tick early on in the scramble, such as like having the first move be wrong, versus like the last having the actual scramble. Like, let's say this is the randomly generated scramble, and then like something like this happens. Like there should be a difference between like whether or not it's a move at the beginning or whether it's like something like this in transit or suspected transit. Oh, I didn't realize you were going to Rockies. I don't know if I'm going to Rockies 100% yet, but I am registered. So, I do have ambition to go, that's all I'll say. Ugh! I had to do freaking 6 up and then 6 back down. That was so ugly. I'm probably definitely not going. I mean, Tucson, Arizona is a bit far from us, definitely. Unless I went with other Utah fibers. Utah fibers. I really don't want to lose my Skewb SRR to 5. I don't think so. There's not many good Skewbers in the Rockies besides like a handful. But like also at the same time, your objective should be obtaining the records, not preserving them. Because if you're trying to preserve the records, you're again putting your mindset into something that's outside of your control. like whether or not someone else in your state gets good. Like you can't control that. So why would you feel bad about it? Like you need to focus on what you have done, which is get a state record, which is incredible. Like you need to be happy with that, and then you can try to go for breaking your own state record again. But don't be upset if someone takes it, or else you'll just be beating yourself for no reason. Which is actually exactly what happened to me. I got my first Cube state record, it was taken away, and then I was really upset about it. And then I was like, wait a minute, why do I need to be upset right now? I don't. I got a state record. I can be happy with that. And then ever since then, like, I've just had a positive attitude towards people taking my state records now. Like, nowadays, I'm just celebrating them. I'm the youngest state record holder in Arizona. That's pretty nice. I think we're about to get another one in Utah soon. Elliot Pimentel, who is, like, insane for how old he is. I think he's, like, 12 or 13. No, he's 14. 13 or 14, I don't know. Very, very young. He's insane at Squan now. Like, he plus 2 out of a Squan state record at Worlds. And he has a competition in September, which is really soon. He's gonna get that sub 7 average soon. Sub 7 would be nuts. If he gets a sub 7 average, wait, isn't Rocky's record like 7.2? Rocky Mountain Square One. It's 7.1. If he gets sub 7 average, it's Rocky's record. I might go to a 2 round Cube Comp in September. I technically went to a 2 round Cube Comp, but then I got a counting 10, which is a whole other story. I think that was actually at Worlds. Like I got a corner twist when I set it down, and I was just like, I'd like then need to sit there and process like, how did this happen? Round 2's gone. Oh crap, I did this completely wrong. What? I swore I did it wrong. I want Rocky's record in Clock. 3.9 would be easy to beat. It's not easy to beat, bro. Clock is the hardest event to compete in officially. .9 is not easy whatsoever. I mean, no record is easy to beat whatsoever because it's a record. Nice. Average 4.1, bro? Yeah, that's not 3.9. And you need to do that officially. In no way is that easy. Where did you learn 7 Simul? I learned from my friend Cayman Vita, but I'm certain that there's a lot of good 7 Simul tutorials out there. Like, if you definitely put in the effort, Rocky's record is definitely possible. I would never claim that a Rocky's record is easy, though. Like, even if I were to global sub a Rocky's record, in no way is that easy, just because of comp. Comp is different. Maybe I've been secretly grinding Clock and I actually average 2.3. Oh my gosh! Yeah, I think like the perfect example of like never assume a record is easy for me is my one-handed single. I got a 1009 back in January 2023, and I was like, oh okay, if I can get 1009, I can surely get sub 10. And Rocky's record at the time was like 9.4. And so I'm like, okay, Rocky's record is definitely doable, and dare I say, I'd probably get in my next comp. I didn't beat 1009 for 2 years. It took me like 900 something days to beat 1009, and by then Rocky's record was like 8.2. And I was like, okay, Rocky's record, very, very difficult to beat. I just want to beat my personal record and beat my 1009. And then I get 8.0. Like, in no way did I ever think that 8.2 was easy to beat. I definitely thought 9.4 was easy to beat back then, but even that was a lie because it took me 2 years. Nearly 3. Nice. 302 single would be easy to beat with the 6 simul. Again, it's not easy. 302 on a 6 simul officially is not easy. No. By the way, 2.49 YouTube Rocky's best 4 o'clock single. Okay, that's at home. Like, I'm not meaning to belittle your accomplishments. 2.4 is really impressive. Like, I would kill to have times that good. But, like, competition is an entirely different beast, though. It's very easy to cherry pick at home results. Brayden is 250, true. I mean, yeah. I bet you that Wilson, like one of our Utah clock solvers, he probably has times just as good as that at home. But in competition is an entirely different beast. Dude, Skull, what is that Skull responding to? I've said like 4 different things between these chat messages. Yeah, he has 3.90 Rocky's tied record. I think it was given to him retroactively because Jakob moved. My baseless conspiracy: Big Shang Xiao snitched to make more clock dramas so people would buy the Shang Xiao clocks. I'm trying to give like, I'm just grasping at straws about how this could even be like realistically believed. I just can't see it. It's just so far fetched and so out there. Oh, I spent like a second and a half doing 0 moves. That's essentially what I did. Yo, what's up, bro? What's up, Lennox? How does that work? It's a joke. Obviously, Shang Xiao had no control. Or that's what they want us to think. hesitant with my turning on this just because I don't like the NFing. Which is why I have a 7 out of 12 right now when I have a 5 officially. Random clock scramble. Don't post times like that in the chat because it's very easy for a message like that to get flagged. You can just save the time. What? Okay. I thought the scribble sucked for a second. It was mediocre at best. That was the first solve where my turning actually felt nice. You use B-Pol, I do too. It's just because it's easy to learn. I definitely think I would be capable of learning Tommy and then getting good with Tommy, but I just don't care enough about clock to actually do that. Like, my PRs in clock are already by far good enough for my skill level. Like, I would not be surprised if my clock average becomes my longest standing PR eventually. I would need to get a Swan PR single, though, for that to be possible, which I also don't see happening, but you never know. Wow, okay. No. Alright. I am getting kind of bored of clock, and I also want to go get some food. So I think this is where I'm gonna wrap up the stream. I think the main takeaway from like this entire drama is, well, first things first, we need to hear their responses to it because they're the ones affected. We can't speak on their behalf. At least not unless they give us permission to. And something is going to happen. I don't know what change is going to happen. All I know is that something is going to happen because this is a very unpopular decision and it's a very controversial decision. So I think that's where I'm going to leave it off. I'm going to no longer like sit here and speculate because it's completely pointless. So, yep. Thank you guys for watching this live stream. Sorry it was a bit more, what's the word? Sorry it was a bit more like pessimistic compared to my other streams, but yeah, I'll be able to stream later today and I'll have like a nice good old stream where we're just back to our usual stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to cover this and make sure other people were aware of it. So, thank you guys for watching. Bye. Goodbye.